Guys, The Last Jedi is less than 2 weeks away. We have 11 days until we witness something completely new in the Star Wars saga that we've never seen. How crazy is that? I remember 2 years ago going to The Force Awakens opening night and just being overwhelmed with joy and passion and love for Star Wars, and I can't wait to experience that again. And with that, I'm going to make a video right now about 5 things that I want to see in Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Number 1, Luke Skywalker versus Kylo Ren. Ever since we found out that Luke Skywalker had a son named Ben in The Force Awakens, I've wondered if they were going to fight in The Last Jedi. It's something that we all thought of because we know that Ben Solo wants to find Luke on Act 2. So for the sake of this video, let's say he does. Luke versus Ben Solo on Act 2 is something I can't even imagine. Imagine if he brings the Knights of Ren and you have Rey there too, and we get this all-out battle. That would just be amazing. And not only because it's going to be a beautiful looking fight, it's going to have some emotions to it. We saw in one of the TV spots for The Last Jedi, Rey say, "Kylo failed you, I won't." And just the emotion behind Luke Skywalker's eyes. Imagine this on a grander scale. Imagine Luke versus his nephew and seeing the emotions brought out with Luke knowing he failed his nephew, or seemingly he thinks he did. It's something I can't wait to see, and hopefully we do see it in The Last Jedi. Number 2, I want to see something happen to Poe Dameron. Poe was originally supposed to die, but then they rewrote him into the script to have a much larger role. So what do we know about Poe Dameron? We know that his mother and father fought along Luke Skywalker in the Shattered Empire comic, and we know that his parents were given a Force tree by Luke Skywalker. And we don't really know much about Force trees in canon. All we know is from that story, I believe. But we do know that there is a tree in The Last Jedi, and I wonder if that's kind of the same Force tree. I wonder the ramifications of being given a Force tree, if it gives anyone the Force, that kind of thing. We see how loyal he is to the Resistance in The Force Awakens, and I want to see that tested. I want Poe Dameron to face some challenges. I want something big to happen to him, because we don't really know much about him. He's a whole comic series that I haven't read a ton about, but I want to see him face something. I want to see him struggle. I want to see him broken, and I want to see something. I just want to see some character development with Poe Dameron and see him do something that I haven't expected nor even imagined that he would do. And I'm not necessarily saying that I want Poe Dameron to go bad or be a Jedi or be Snoke or something, but I just want there to be something that really challenges his character and makes his character even better than it already is. Number 3, some clarification to Snoke and Rey's past. Now, I'm not saying I want a whole exposition of who Snoke is or who Rey's parents are, but I do think we're going to get one of those two things. I think we're going to get some explanation as to who Rey's parents are for sure. I don't think her parents are the people in Battlefront. I don't think her dad's Luke. I think her parents are nobodies, but that's just my opinion. That doesn't matter. But I do think we're going to find out something about her parents. And I'm not really sure if people are going to accept it, because I don't think it's going to be that big of a reveal. Daisy Ridley said after The Force Awakens, she thought that it was obvious who her parents were, or something along those lines. And I do think Luke is just going to tell her. But as to Snoke, I definitely think we're going to go a lot deeper into Star Wars with Snoke than we did with Rey's parents, obviously. We know that Snoke is ancient. We know he's from the galactic, at least past the Galactic Republic days. I think we're going to find out what his goals are for sure. I don't know if we're going to find out exactly who Snoke is he Plagueis, that kind of thing. I think we're going to find out at least some of what his motivations are, because we know he's in this movie a decent amount, because we saw him with Rey in the second trailer. Maybe that wasn't what it seems. Maybe that's what Luke Skywalker is alluding to when he says this is not going to go the way you thought. I don't know. I really think we're gonna see something cool with Snoke. We know he has that black kyber crystal ring, we think. Andy Serkis said lately that he thinks Snoke is more powerful than the Emperor and Darth Vader. So I do think we're gonna see something with Snoke, and I think it's gonna be really, really cool. I'm hoping that he gets to fight Luke Skywalker, but that might be a little premature. I think that might happen in the next movie, Episode 9. I'm not sure if that'll all happen in this, but I really do think we're going to get some cool information about Snoke, and he's going to be really cool in this movie. Number 4, a greater understanding of the Force. The Force is something that we don't know a ton about. We know what Yoda has told us. We know what went on in the prequels with the midichlorians. But the last time they tried to make the Force explained, we saw what happened, and people didn't really take it that well with the midichlorians. But that's not exactly what I mean here. What I mean is I want to find out some secrets about the Force. I want to find out that the Force, like Luke says in the trailer, it's time for the Jedi to end, and then Rey says the balance, and Luke says there's so much more. We're going to find out some stuff in this movie that just blows our mind. I mean, at least I think so, because I think Rian Johnson is just one hell of a storyteller, and he's going to do some stuff with the Force, and I'm so excited to find out what is in that Journal of the Wills maybe that Luke has. You know, the little burnt book. I think maybe that was at his Jedi temple, and I think he saved it because it's that important. Maybe he's been studying that when he's been looking around the galaxy for clues about the origins of the Jedi. And I'm just excited to see not necessarily the origins of the Force, but just some depth of the Force, and that it's not as clear as there's the dark side and there's light. We see in one of the TV spots Snoke say, "There is dark and light to meet it," or something like that. And that's true, but I don't necessarily think it's that simple. And I think they're going to really explain that it's not that simple in this movie. There's not just good and bad. It's a huge cliche with Star Wars now, but there's a gray in between. And I think that's going to be one of the main topics of this movie, and one of the main themes. Number 5, something totally unexpected. It's hard to say what I want to see here because I say unexpected, but I want something that we haven't even imagined before, something so weird and something so crazy that we don't know if we like it or hate it right when it happens. I want to leave this movie being shaken, questioning everything I thought about Star Wars, questioning what I just saw. Did I love it? Did I hate it? Not being able to process everything I just saw. And I think we're gonna get that. I think we're gonna get something, or maybe not something, but a few things in this movie that really challenge our perception of Star Wars, really change what we think about Star Wars. I'm not saying we're gonna get this huge reveal like we did with the Darth Vader "I am your father." I just think we're gonna get something that we've never seen in a Star Wars movie, something different, something we can't even think of right now. And with Rian Johnson behind the camera, I think that's definitely a possibility. So those are my 5 thoughts as to what I want to happen in Star Wars The Last Jedi. I'm really curious to know what things you guys want to see happen in The Last Jedi, so leave a comment down below. Thank you guys for watching. We're so close to The Last Jedi, and I can't wait to share it with you guys, and it's just going to be such an incredible experience, hopefully. And with that, may the Force be with you, always.